It's time for us to get an update on what's happening at Faith Community Church in Red Oak. We look forward to our Thursday morning visits at about 10:30 with somebody representing Faith Community, Faith North on 8th in Red Oak. And today we have Melissa J. McDonald is back with us, Children's Director.
Well, I am back. I don't know if I'm the Children's Director. I don't know what I am, but I work with the kids when I can. And I'm always happy to be back, Jerry.
That's because you're joy.
I'm sunshine, that's
You're
right.
joyful and sunshine.
I am on this gray day. It's perfect.
Melissa Joy McDonald is
You
with us.
remembered.
And she has been all over different parts of the country since we saw her last time.
Yes, sir.
She's a mover and a shaker, that
I
girl
am.
is. Where are you going next?
California.
How soon?
I leave Monday morning, super early.
Where in California?
San Diego, Long Beach, Irvine, Temecula, all Southern California. Yep. Poor me.
How long will you be there?
I'm just there until Thursday, and then I fly to Seattle on next Saturday. So, and then I'm there for 6 weeks. So,
in Seattle for 6 weeks?
Well, that area for 6 weeks. I have to go to Billings and work, but I'm basing out of the Seattle area for 6 weeks. So,
I see.
Yep.
Very good. And remind our listeners again very quickly, Melissa J. McDonald, what it is that you do that we can talk about when you go to these various places.
You can talk about all of it.
Can we?
Nothing is secretive that I know of. I'm a children's ministry innovator, so I do a lot of speaking and training and working with churches and groups, and so I just have a lot of meetings in Southern California. I'm presenting to a district for their board of directors for the district of the churches down there, and I'm not sure what I'll be doing with that, but just a little bit of everything, working with churches and hanging out, and it's great. I love it.
Do you go in and evaluate what they're doing and where it's working and where it's not working and make suggestions? And
I do. I'm very good at saying what's not working well.
And they pay you big bucks for doing that.
They do. Well, big bucks is an exaggeration, but yes, I do get paid to do that. So yeah, I have a pretty good critical eye and can tell them what they need to rethink. I was just in Madison, Wisconsin last week doing that, and
what they need to rethink.
They basically everything, and so this doesn't reach Madison, right?
No.
No, and they would agree with me. So, yeah,
they just need to start over, huh?
They're just starting over, and they're excited about them because I don't leave people down in the dumps. I give them ideas and practical stuff. So that church is on fire and excited to reach kids in their community. So it's great.
Pretty exciting.
And then I just leave. It's a perfect job.
That's pretty nice. It wasn't working. They were down in the dumps, and you brought a little sunshine and turned things around, and now they're wired, fired, and inspired.
That's right. That should be my new slogan. I like that.
All because Melissa J. came by. That's wonderful.
It's good. I enjoy it.
It's a nice job to have and get paid besides.
It is.
Fly all over the country?
All over.
Man.
Yeah.
Brett, is life that good as an associate pastor?
No, Jerry. Actually, I'm one of the ones that gets to sit in the office and listen to what she says is wrong and change it when she leaves town.
I see. You're one of the ones that she pulls out of the dumps, huh?
Yes.
I see. Very good. Well, you do a good job of being pulled then, apparently, because you've certainly done a good job at Faith Community, and we're glad that you and your family are part of our community.
Well, thank you. We're glad to be here.
Highlight of the Labor Day weekend for you was?
Well, it was kind of a whirlwind, but it would have had to have been Monday afternoon after I got done with, I got to preach this weekend. So once the message was done and we helped a friend move on Sunday, Monday was all day. We spent the morning cleaning up the house, and then the afternoon was in the pool with the kids.
That's why they call it Labor Day.
That's right. That's right.
Could have called it Labor Weekend, I guess, for you.
Yeah, well, it could have been,
Could have been Labor Weekend. All right. Very good. Why do we do what we do at Faith Community Church?
What a great question.
Thank you.
Now, if we could come up with a great answer, that will be even more spectacular.
I'm sure that you can.
Well, in the context, what we wanted to talk about today, Jerry, was just in the context of children's ministry. And one of the things, we joke about Melissa coming in and telling us all the things that need to be changed. But the reality is about 4 or 5 years ago, we came to that realization that we really did need to make some changes with what we were doing. The programming that we had at our church for our children's ministry was geared towards what the vision of the church was 17 years before that, and there's been a whole lot of changes over the last 17 years, just in life in general, much less with the church and with the communities. And what we were seeing is just a different type of kid that was coming through our doors. The reality that families go together to church every Sunday and it's a major part of their life just isn't so much the norm as it used to be anymore. And so we're seeing a lot of kids that come, where we're at geographically, we get a lot of kids that just walk across the street by themselves. We have kids that come from the schools. They'll come and get engaged with our youth groups, and that's the only time that we see them. So we really had to adjust what we were doing based on the reality that not everybody that comes in has the family support at home, and we just don't have the time. If we had the kids in our churches and in our Sunday schools and in our programs every week, it would be very easy for us to start at Genesis and walk them through the entire Bible and teach them all through that, and that's great if you have that opportunity. But the reality for us is we might see a kid once a month if we're lucky, and so we really wanted to start looking at the importance for us is to start to take out of Scripture. Obviously everything that we do is going to still be scripturally based, but we wanted to take some of the characteristics of God and start to give these kids, based on those virtues, just give them some realities, some basic truths, and then what that looks like for them in their lives. And that's probably one of the biggest changes that we've seen.
And if I can just interrupt. No, you're doing a great job. I think, too, with that, it's important to note, Jerry, that most churches on average get 40 hours a year with kids. And that's 40 hours a year. And so it's really important that we make every single minute of those 40 hours count. And so we have had to be very focused and very intentional about what we're doing, because otherwise we're shooting all over the place. So if we've only got 40 hours a year, we have to know what we're doing and do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and then you contrast that with the fact with the parents who have 3,000 hours a year with their kids. The great reality, though, is that we get to, so part of what we do is trying to be intentional about working with the parents as well, because as much as we think that our kids are paying attention to their gaming systems and their electronics and their television and their movies, parents are still the greatest influence over kids, period. And the second highest influence over kids are engaged adults. So if we at the church can partner with kids, or partner with the kids as parents rather, then we can have a greater influence over them together than we ever could alone.
So Melissa, Jay, what are they doing right at Faith Community that makes kids want to come there?
We've got great people involved, great people who are committed to loving these kids, and that relational aspect is so important. We have so many kids who don't have solid adults in their life and don't feel safe a lot of places, and so we really want Faith Community to be a safe, welcoming environment where they know that I belong here, and we do that well. I think we've always done that well, and especially in the last few years we've made that a really intentional thing with our kids ministry, is that you belong here and there's people here that care about you, and that helps people want to stay in the church. That helps people want to connect with a God who has people who love him and love them. And so that we do that really well. Really, our people are phenomenal. It blows me away. We were just meeting before we came, and the list of people we have signed up to help this fall is so exciting, and quality people that have stepped out of their box and have adjusted and welcomed kids and loved them. And we have a lot of interesting kids. I think I mentioned that last time when I was here, was a lot of our Red Oak kids, just due to the environment and all that, they have some sort of special needs. So they're busy, or they do have a learning disability, or they do have some sort of sensory disorder. And we get a lot of those at Faith Community Church. And it's been a big step for our volunteers to understand the difference between wanting a preferred outcome. In a perfect world, they would sit down, crisscross applesauce, hands in their lap, with a notebook and say, "Teach us, Miss Mel." "Teach us, Pastor Brett." And we would love that, but gone are those days. And so having our people, having our farmers who, you obey because I'm an adult, shift and adjust to understanding that relationship is more important than necessarily the behavior that we want has been a huge shift that our people have made so well. And so our kids feel safe. They feel loved. It's not quiet. It's controlled chaos a lot of times. Sometimes it's just chaos and we're trying to control it, but the kids know they have a place where they belong and they do that so well. And Faith Community is unlike any other church I go into. I don't know, I've probably been into 30 different churches this year so far. Is we do have the highest percentage of special or challenging kids, the highest percentage I've ever seen at a church. I would say about 80%, 75 to 80%, and it takes a great team of people to work with that and to make that happen well. So they do that very well. I go into churches all the time, and Faith Community is still in my top 5 churches that I want to be a part of.
It must be a bit challenging, though, because you do have some of the what were traditional home settings of when I was a kid, where it was traditional that the parents came and brought their children and their families, and they were not only exposed to Bible study and Sunday school and church, but they also at home were taught those kinds of values. You still have some of those kinds of homes and situations, but you also at Faith Community have young people who wanted to just come for the hot dog, or just want to come to see what's going on, or maybe want to come to create chaos occasionally. Yep. I mean, that these are kids.
Yeah.
And from all kinds of different backgrounds. It must be a little challenging to put them all together and make it work so that the ultimate objective is realized with everybody you're working with.
Right, and what we're finding, Jerry, is I've had that conversation with parents that are the more traditional, if you want to call it that, and what that is for us, that's an opportunity then for us that's part of the way that we partner with those parents is helping them to understand that, because the first thing we've stood up in church I don't know how many times and told people that it's as a pastor, or for Melissa in her role, it is not our job to teach and instruct the kids. It's still the parents' responsibility. So we certainly want to partner with them and encourage them and equip them all that we can, but ultimately it's the parents' responsibility. So when we have the kids that are coming from those homes where they do have a good family structure, we really want to encourage them to continue teaching them the basics and doing their devotions with them, praying with them, and helping them, just walking with them and teaching their kids. And then instead of getting the traditional what they got in Sunday school, well then Sunday school or youth group or whatever it may be, then that becomes an opportunity for them that they get to teach their kids how to serve, and that is so important, because if all we're doing is taking in, it gets pretty ugly after a while. So that's a big part of what we're trying to do, is to teach our kids that they've been given their gifts and abilities and their talents for a reason, and that reason is to share it with other people. So.
Associate Pastor Brett White and Melissa J. McDonald, who is a children's director and a guru when it comes to evaluating programs and helping you get on the right track with your program, with us this morning from Faith Community. What time are services this Sunday?
We have 2 services. Our first is at 9 o'clock, and our second is at 10:45.
And we have really good coffee. That's something to note, I think.
We do have good coffee. Yeah. Did you know that we order our coffee from Africa, Jerry?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah, that's one of the little sidebar here.
You're welcome.
We do. We actually we order our coffee from a company called Land of 1,000 Hills, and the reason that we do that, we actually pay a little bit more than we would normally if we were just to go grab a can of Folgers off the shelf at our local stores. And the reason that we choose to do that is because Land of 1,000 Hills works directly with the people in Africa. We had gone to Pastor David and I had gone to a leadership summit a couple of years ago and heard a speaker from Africa, and he said the worst thing that can happen is that people continue just to throw money at Africa. He said that it's creating an attitude and an environment of entitlement, which they didn't appreciate. So he brought up the fact of if you really want to help us, then help support us in our businesses, and so that's exactly what 1,000 Hills does. They went in to Rwanda, which was a land that was just trying to recover from years and years of some vicious civil war, and the stories that are coming out of there of this little company that went in and started to give people a livable wage for them growing their coffee and bringing it to market, and just to be able to see, I mean, there's literally stories of people that had been at war with each other, where a man who had killed a family is now working with the daughter of that family, and the reconciliation and forgiveness that's been seen in that. It's just a great picture of the gospel at work. So that's why we choose to order that coffee, and that's what we serve. So, and it is very good coffee. So
very interesting.
So when you come and you pop a quarter or 50 cents into the cup and drink a cup of coffee, you know that you're helping some people out, and just being a part of something bigger.
And you're allowed to take it into the sanctuary, which is nice. Some churches will not allow that, but we welcome coffee spills, and doesn't matter. Bring it on in.
As the consultant and critic, Melissa, is the children's ministry at Faith Community, have they peaked out? Are they at the ultimate efficiency and effectiveness, or what's the vision for the future, or what are you telling Pastor Brett that you'd like to see changed?
Well, no, we have not peaked. We are still on an incline, a steady incline.
But doing a very good job.
We are doing a good
very
job.
good job
Thank
of
you.
caring about and loving people that are not always so lovable, and wanting to help them to find more meaning to their lives. I mean, I'm just saying, from my personal testimony, your people are doing a wonderful job of their ministry to the youth. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, and you're right, they are. And the way I'm wired, I'm always looking for what we could be doing better, which makes me really good at my job.
And get paid big bucks for it, so why not? I mean,
I don't know who told you about the big bucks, but I would like to hear from that person.
Keep on doing that.
Yeah, we haven't peaked yet, and we have plans, we have ideas, we have thoughts. Part of it is time. I'm obviously never in town, and Pastor Brett is busy doing a lot of other things as well, and so we have hopes for what we'd like to do. But I feel like where we're at is we're very solid with what we're doing. We were, in a meeting right before we came in here, evaluating, going, we need to be doing this better. We need to be thinking this better. But the greatest thing for me being able to work in my home church is to work with someone like Pastor Brett, who isn't intimidated by that, and who's very willing to admit, yeah, you're right, we need to rethink that, we need to keep working on that. So it's a great place to be a part of, and I think that makes Faith Community unique, that we aren't settling for the status quo. We're not settling for just good enough. We're always pushing ourselves to be better, to do better, for the sake of Jesus, for the sake of reaching these kids.
Simply define the mission of your children's ministry, Pastor Brett, would be what?
Our mission statement at the church starts out whatever it takes, and it really speaks to the attitude of the people here in this area. I mean, you just look around and you can see the work that goes into tilling this land and being a part of the agriculture that's in this area, and then looking at the people in the town and just the way that they go about things. What a great work ethic and working hard to get things done. We really wanted to capture that in our mission statement of understanding that it's all about the people. So the same is true in our children's ministry, that whatever it takes, and we're serious about that. We have no sacred cows. The joke is they make the best hamburger. So we will do whatever it takes to reach our kids for Christ and connect with those families, just to make it's got to be better. There's the truth of the gospel is that we have an opportunity. We've been given a promise that there's an abundant life, and you look around, there's an awful lot of people who are not realizing that. And so if we can be a part of doing whatever it takes to get them to step into that life that was promised, and understand that there's so much more out there, so much more available, then we certainly want to be a part of that.
These folks and friends of yours and mine are from Faith Community Church. They're located on North 8th in Red Oak, and would love to welcome you and your family to their services anytime or every time the doors are open. They would love to welcome you there. Anything unique, different, special going to be happening this Sunday that I might want to know about?
We actually heard you were doing a solo.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
what Pastor Dave said. So
not supposed to be out until it happened. But
surprise! I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
felt like we
right.
needed to let the sunshine, listening country
Yeah.
know that. But yeah,
Very
solo.
good.
I think you're doing the Lord's Prayer, if I recall. So
I see. All right.
yeah, so that's
Wow.
going to be great.
I'm
You're
gonna look
going to
forward
want
to
to come
that,
out
Jerry.
for that.
Sure you will. Other than that, it'd be pretty hard to beat that, I suppose. That's pretty
Yeah, it's
Pretty
a
well.
little less dramatic than that, but we are excited with our Sunday school. We're actually this is our what we call our big promotion Sunday. We don't really make a big deal out of it at all, but for the kids, it's always exciting as they've started school and gone into their new year. We actually, when we do our Sunday school, we split it up. We have teachers that teach throughout the school year, and then the end of May we give them the summer off. So we have another team that comes in and teaches from June through August, and then they go up until Labor Day, and then we jump into the brand new school year. So all the kids are excited that they're getting to move up a grade and get started with their new teachers.
Speaking of jump, it's just about time for jump to start.
It is. We're very excited. Yeah, we had one of the things that we were looking at today is just getting finalizing all the team members and who we've got coming in for that. And jump is our Wednesday night ministry for kids age 3 through grade 4.
Age 3, as long as they're potty trained. We need to clarify that.
This
They
is
have to
why
be
she gets
potty
paid the big
trained.
bucks.
That's right.
So yeah, I totally forgot where I was at.
That's our program.
That's
for
our program
age
for
3
age
through
3
grade
to
4.
grade 4. Yes. But yes, jump is going to be starting on the 18th. So we'll have next week. We'll have our team together. We'll do some training and talking to them about all the things that we've got coming up. And then we launch on Wednesday the 18th, and we are so excited to have the kids back. Really looking forward to it.
Do I pre-register if I'm coming to jump, or do I just come on the 18th and jump in?
You just come right on in and jump right in. Yeah, we don't do any pre-registration. We do we check the kids in when they get there so we know who's there, and we have contact information that we'll get from parents as they come in, so that if anything were to happen, we have some emergency contact and just some general information about the kids. But then you just bring them in and they'll come and have fun.
Age 3 through grade 4 starts on the 18th, runs from 6:30 until 8 p.m.
Correct.
Very good.
Yep.
And then that's one thing to shout about. Then another program starts on the 11th of September.
Yes.
Shout to me about that.
Shout is our ministry for 5th and 6th graders, and Connie McDonald is our youth director at Faith Community. She does a fantastic job with the kids, and we kind of share a little bit the 5th and 6th graders. They're kind of under the jump umbrella for Sunday school, and then she gets them on Wednesday nights, and we really love that because there's a difference in the 5th and 6th graders are really the youth group of probably what you were used to when you were younger, and so we really want to be intentional about separating them from the other grade school kids and just giving them an opportunity to realize that this faith that they're being called to is something of their own, and that it's real, and they get to investigate that a little bit differently than we're able to do with the younger grade schoolers. And Connie does a fantastic job with that. She's I do need to say that there is a possibility that we may need to delay that start a little bit, but right now the plan is to go ahead and start that on the 11th, which is a week from yesterday. The reason for that is we've had some switch in the personnel, the leaders of that group, and one of the things that we do, Jerry, we don't just do things to do things. In everything that we do, we want to try, and as Melissa mentioned earlier, we do it with excellence. And if we know that we can't, then we're not going to do it. So I was talking to Connie this morning, and she wanted me not to say anything about it at all at first. And we just want to be open about the fact that we are planning a start. If everything comes together, then we'll start on the 11th. But there is a possibility that we'll need to delay that a couple of weeks.
And you can like us on Facebook, Faith Community Church Red Oak, and we'll keep it updated on there. So if you're not sure, you want to bring your 5th and 6th graders, is it starting, you're not sure, we'll keep it updated on there. So if we delay it, we'll let you know if we're starting, all of that. So
Right.
yeah.
And if you'll let us know, we'll let them know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try to work with you,
Well, we appreciate that.
as long as you don't get too pushy.
I know. And I kept my mouth shut because I could have made a dig about your age.
I
Did
could
you see
see.
that?
Oh yeah, I saw several things went through your
They did.
little mind there.
And
very
I kept my
quickly.
microphone down.
And I had it turned off anyway, so I didn't really make
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Jerry.
I'm just wondering how it goes. He alluded to Mrs. McDonald as being director of youth. I'm just kind of wondering how it works out when we start critiquing her program.
We do not touch those programs.
We don't go there.
She really does a fabulous job. I have gifted parents, and it is so fun for me to have learned from them. And and I'll be very diplomatic. They're really just very good. It's fun for me to talk about them when I'm in other churches too. So every now and then I might give an opinion, but it's best family comes first. And so I want to be able to have Thanksgiving with the family.
You're as smart in your new glasses as I thought you would be.
I try.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed. All right, so we've jumped, we've shouted, and then we'll exit. Is that also up in the air for the 11th, or is it?
No, that's a
Green light
solid,
go.
ready
That's
to go.
firm.
That team is in place and ready and excited. Exit is the ministry that we have for our 7th to 12th graders, and that includes junior and senior high. I just need to talk to the moms for a minute here. I have a wife at home who is a little bit nervous about our 7th grader going into youth group with all of those nasty 12th graders, and it's a fantastic opportunity. We have, just as well as we have of a great team of leaders, we have great kids at our church too, and there's nothing for any of the parents to be worried about. And actually, what happens is the 7th through 12th graders, they're together for some time of worship and large group, but then they separate and they have their own small groups where they're connecting together, and the junior hires have their own small group together, boys and girls, as well as the senior high. And Connie does a really good job of preparing. The reason it's called Exit, a couple of reasons. One is that it's a place for them to kind of exit their current reality of all the pressures that they may be feeling at school and home, and just have a safe place to come and figure out really what the Bible has to say about life and how they can apply that to their own situation. And then the other part of it is as they're preparing to exit, as they go through high school, they're stepping out into their own faith and kind of exiting mom and dad's life, and really looking at how they make their faith their own, and what that means for them. And it's really neat to see just how some of the kids grab a hold of that and just run with it. It's very cool when they get it.
What if I'm an 11th grader and I hit a bump in the road that doesn't happen to come between 7 and 8:30 on September the 11th? Then what would you suggest that I do?
You just buckle up and hold on until next week.
Suck it
Good
up.
luck.
Just suck it up and hang in there, huh?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. We, as Melissa said, we've got Facebook pages. Connie has a youth page. We've got a website. We've got emails. We've got phone numbers, and that's part of what we do. The reality of being ministers is it's not an 8 to 5 job. We're engaged with our kids. I mentioned earlier the small groups. One of the fantastic things, and the reason that we do small groups, is because those kids connect with their small group leaders, and they know that they've got a core group of 8 to 10 people. And that's exactly why we do it, because when life happens, and it does to all of us, you've got a group, a leader, a couple of leaders, and some other peers that you can go to for help. You can contact them and get the support that you need. It's the same reason, my wife and I, we have a small group that meets on Sunday night. It's the exact same thing. When life happens to us, we call our small group, and that's where we get our support from.
Yeah, it's all about relationship. Everyone wants to belong somewhere. Everybody wants to know that they're known somewhere. Somebody cares about them. And so Faith Community in general, we're really passionate about giving people those groups where they can connect, where they belong, where they're known. And so we start that young and move it all the way through. So you can have a bump in the road at any time, and it may not be one of the ministers who come around you. And then ideally it might not even be, because your group is around you supporting you. And that's how ministry happens. That's how life happens. And don't we all want to do life with someone? So.
Very good. All right. Pastor White, what else would you like for us to know about Faith Community Church this morning that we haven't covered, or in general, what else would you like to say to us?
Well, every time you ask me that, my first thought is of the people, and we've kind of touched on that, and I just totally agree with what's been said as far as those relationships, and it's really not about myself and Pastor David or Connie or any Melissa or anybody else. Our job is to help equip the people that we have come through our doors, and just help them to realize their place, that God did not just call me to be a pastor to be the one that solves all the problems. God is calling every one of us to be a part of a body of believers that helps and encourages one another. So that's the biggest thing, is always the people. Aside from that, I'm excited as we get our program started for the fall. We're looking forward to that, obviously, with Sunday school and our Wednesday night ministries, and we've also got some things coming up. I'm guessing that Pastor David will be back to talk about in a little bit. We're wrapping up his series in Colossians over the next couple of weeks, and then we're starting a brand new one that'll last from October through November that we're really looking forward to. It's just kind of the basics, our core values, if you will, of why we believe what we do and what guides us in all that we do. So we're excited about that coming up. And we're actually going to be, I don't think I mentioned this to Melissa at our meeting this morning. No, this is going to be news for her too. We're actually going to be in October. We're going to suspend our normal Sunday school curriculum that we use, and we're going to be focusing on those core values. So it's going to be the Sunday school, the sermons, and we're going to encourage our small groups as well. So everybody's going to be taking part in the same thing, and that's going to be fun.
See, they don't need me. They got this figured out. That's awesome. I support that. A+.
All right, Melissa J., what would you like to say in conclusion?
I think we're good. I think Pastor Brett did a great job, and it's always good to be back here with you, Jerry. I am so looking forward to your solo on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I want you to know that's to get back at you for trying to put me on swap time.
You were the one that brought that up,
I
Melissa.
believe you brought up swap time, and we have it recorded, Jerry.
Yes, we do. We do have it recorded. You brought up wanting a man, and I was just trying to be accommodating.
No, I think that's very resourceful of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think we need to cut this
That's
interview.
all I was trying to do. Was trying to be helpful as much. That's just my nature.
Everyone's a victim.
Any way that I could. That's all.
No, I think it's great church. I love being a part of it. We do have great stuff coming up.
I do have several applications here that I want you to look through.
Oh, dear
before
Lord.
you leave as well.
Actually, my dad texted me while I was out of town and said, Jerry wanted me to tell you that a lot of people responded, and I thought he was serious. And I was like, oh, my word. So, anyways,
several of them are down at the county jail.
I'm sure they are.
Several of them with one stop.
Shout out to the people behind bars.
With one stop, you can interview several of them.
Yeah,
in one location.
That's great. I'm really busy. So,
speaking of which, on a serious note, I would not that there isn't some seriousness in that. I'm assuming from Melissa J. But on a very serious note, every day, somewhere in my day, I'm reminded that first of all, of how blessed I am with my family and with our business, and that the Lord has been very, very good to us. Not that there aren't bumps in the road for all of us, but we're very, very blessed. But every day I run into somebody somewhere that reminds me that there are a lot of hurting people. There are people with physical problems. There are people with financial problems. There are people with emotional problems. There are people with losses of loved ones. There's a plethora of problems out there that people are facing, and they need to know that there is hope, there is help, there is peace, there is purpose, there is fulfillment, and it may not just happen to you on Sunday morning that you realize you need some help and somebody to show you a little bit of hope and light, and the folks at Faith Community will do that for you. I just think it's important for people to realize you're not just there for a couple of hours on Sunday, but for those folks out there that are looking for somebody that will maybe just listen and then maybe share something that can put meaning back in their life, that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thank you for saying that, because it's so much. The old paradigm is that church was a place that you went to on a Sunday morning and you put in your time, and it was just something that you would check off the to-do list, and we are so not about that. We understand. We're excited to meet on Sunday mornings, and what we do is it's a celebration is what we're about. We're just coming together to celebrate the God that gives us that hope and gives us that ability to move on and to carry on and to, as I mentioned, to be a part of that that life that's so much more meaningful than just the struggles that are around us. A life that doesn't depend on our circumstances, but depends on the God who works through our circumstances. And we totally understand that. Then we're a part of each other's lives all throughout the week, and we're supporting each other and loving each other through. Because like I said, every one of us has got something that we're dealing with.
And it's genuine. It's good, bad, and the ugly. We are not perfect. And it's hard. People think Christians are hypocrites. A lot of Christians are hypocrites. And a lot of Christians, all Christians are just real people. And we slip up and we do things we shouldn't. And I love that, it's a safe place. And you can be you. You can be completely who you are, but we're going to genuinely love you. We're going to not have all the answers because we're figuring it out ourselves, but it's a safe place. It's a place where you're welcome and you're loved.
Another thing I like, and then we'll get off of that and let you get back to your day jobs, but another thing that to me is meaningful is that the folks at Faith Community know they're sinners saved by grace, and they don't pretend to be better than you are wherever you are. What they have because God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son for people that were ruined and wretched and wicked, and then he's willing to forgive them and make them new. They're sinners saved by grace. So no matter who you are or where you are, you'll find an understanding heart that can understand where you are and deeply care about who you are and where you are. And I think that's important. I say that because you may be out there listening this morning and have been disappointed by a preacher sometime. That does happen occasionally. You may have been actively involved in a church and then been deeply hurt over something that happened, or lots of things happen in churches that leave people hurt and wounded and bleeding. And I just would encourage you. You can find a place of healing because God will be there, and he will meet you through the people at Faith Community who know they are sinners saved by grace, and would love to be able to share with you the joy and the peace and the forgiveness that they've found that's available.
You're never too far gone.
To you as well, wherever you are. So I just appreciate that aspect that I've heard Pastor Dave say several times. People say, well, there are hypocrites in the church, and yep, there are. Come and join us.
Exactly.
We'll add one more.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you're welcome to come and join us.
Right.
But
I was just going to say, Jerry, too, it's important, even if you come and you find that Faith Community is not the place for you, come and talk to us, because we are totally okay. We have a very healthy understanding that it is not at all about Faith Community Church. It's all about the kingdom of God, and we're just a small part of that. So if somebody, if you feel comfortable walking through our doors and you're not comfortable with our size, with our preaching, with our music, whatever it may be, still talk to us, because we have a healthy relationship with some of the other churches in town who have the same belief system that we do, and we'd be happy to point them in another direction. And we're just glad to be a part of that kingdom and
That's
be
not
able
just
to play
about
our
us.
part. Exactly.
Yep. It's not about the church building. It's not about that specific church. It's really about God's love for you, as he has perfectly demonstrated. But that is available to you at Faith Community Church as well as other places. But don't go through life hurting, wounded, bleeding, weary, when it can be different.
Yep.
So that's my message for the day.
I like it.
Are you busy Sunday morning?
Yes, he's
maybe
doing a solo.
maybe after your solo you can say a few words.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for coming in. Always nice to visit with you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the difference that God is making in the lives of young and old through people that truly love him and allow him to do his work at and through Faith Community Church. Thanks for being there and
Thank you, Jerry.
letting him do that.
One more quick thing, if I could. I'll put in a quick plug. Well, I'm going to anyway. I'll just keep talking. You can turn my mic off if you need to. One of the things we mentioned about the young people, being servants and being influencers. We do have a young lady that's going to be sharing this weekend about a way that God is speaking to her about a missions trip that she's going to be going on. It's just going to be a great little snapshot of what we're about, that we understand the gifts and the talents that this young lady has, and we're happy to send her outside of our doors to accomplish God's will in her. So that'll be a big part of what's going on this Sunday. So
So, Melissa J., you won't be back for a while then, or what?
I won't. No, I'll be
man.
there this Sunday, and then I know it's gonna be hard. In November, I'm booked solid, but December it looks good. I should be home.
Well, warn us ahead of time. will
Well,
you?
I just put my note in at Fairway, and I was like, "Sorry, guys, I'll be back in December." So, yeah, but don't worry. I'll tune in when I can.
I see.
Shoot you an email, say hey. Yeah.
That'd be good. I'd love to hear from you. And I can screen emails, so that's
great,
nice
great.
thing about emails.
That's great.
Make it a good day, and God bless you, and thanks for caring about people, young and old.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, you too, Jerry.
Good to visit with both of you. Pastor Brett White, Associate Pastor, and Melissa J., that's Melissa Joy McDonald, who is the Children's Director from Faith Community Church, North on 8th in Red Oak, where you will always find a welcome, warm reception and people that love you and love God and would be willing to share Him with you. So take advantage of the opportunities that are there to make life better for you now and for eternity.